Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. Well, I have another 12 weeks of fall and Halloween for you. This is week number 3, and this week I decided to do a fun fold card. So I really don't know the name of this. If you can think of a name for it, comment below. I've seen this before and nobody had a name for it. I've actually done it with an oval shape before, but this one is a rectangle and it fits perfectly into a regular envelope, a regular medium envelopes. I just thought that was really cute, and I am going to change mine up a little bit. I'm going to use a different paper here because if you look closely, you'll see these little spider webs that I made with the black glitter paper that's in the July to December mini catalog. And I'm going to call that the holiday catalog from here on out. It's a lot easier to say, but you can't see it very well. So I picked out some paper that's a little bit lighter and so you can see it a little better. So the one I make today will be a little different, but it's the same concept. So I hope you have fun with this one. If you'd like to stamp with me, just look down in the video description and click on that blog post link. That way you'll get the information on what the sizes are that you need and all the supplies you need. And then you can come back and make it with me. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first thing we want to do is to do some scoring. So this is just a regular half sheet. It's 8.5 by 5.5 inches of the basic black. And I'm going to take this is the cutting blade, the dark one. Get that one out of the way because we're just going to do some scoring. So with the 8.5 inch side along the top, I'm going to score at 2 inches. So we'll line this up at 2 inches. Go up and down a few times to get it scored. Then at 3 1/8 inches. So there's 3 1/8, and we'll do that. And then you just turn this over so the opposite side is over here now. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to score at 2 inches and at 3 1/8 inches. And this is going to be all the scoring we have to do. So that's real quick and easy. And now we'll get going on doing some stamping. Okay, I said we'd get going on some stamping, but I changed my mind. We're going to put some designer series paper on this first. So the way we're going to fold this, the ones on the inside get folded back. Okay. And we'll fold this one like so. I'm going to grab my bone folder and get a nice sharp crease here. Open it up again. We'll do the same thing over here. And then the front one is going to come forward like so. So it's like an accordion. And we'll do the same thing over here. So this is what it's going to look like when you fold it up. Okay. Now we need some designer series paper. The middle section, you need a piece that is 2 inches by 5 1/4, and I decided to use this side. And this is the side I'm going to use out here, but they're smaller pieces. Now this one's just a little bit lighter than that boo paper that I had used, but this is going to be the center, so that's that 2 by 5 1/4. So I'll grab my seal here and stick it, and it's a little easier to do if you just lay it flat again. Make sure, of course, that your houses are going the right direction. You don't want any upside down houses. Okay, then you're going to grab 2 more pieces, and this happens to come from the cute Halloween designer series paper. I forgot to say that. So you need 2 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So they're just, let's see, they are just a 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch thinner, narrower. So we're going to get those on this 2 side sections here. And the one, they go every which way, but the skulls seem to go, there are a few upside down, but most of them are going this direction. So this one you kind of need to look at too, to get it in the right place. Okay, so now we'll put this last piece on. Get some adhesive on here. And we'll put this right here in the center, this section. So I'll have all the designer series paper on here. And there we've got the base of the card done. So like I said, I wish I could think, it's kind of like an accordion fun fold, but not quite. If you guys think of a name, just let me know. But I really like this one a lot. Okay, so now we'll get ready to do some stamping. Okay, first off, I want to show you the bundle I'm using. This is the Frightfully Cute stamp set. And it is really cute, isn't it? And I love the dies in this. And here are the images. And if you purchase these together as a bundle, you get to save 10% rather than purchasing them separately. And the dies we're going to need the spider web. And I had to make a picket fence and use the tree. And we're going to use the witch's hat. And those are all the dies that we're going to use today. Oh, to take that back, we do need the circle too. That'll be all the dies that we need. And now we'll go ahead and grab a piece of basic white. This one is 3 inches by 2 3/4. And I'm going to take the moon stamp. Oh, I forgot to tell you which stamps you need. Let me grab the stamp set real quick in case you're stamping along with me. You're going to need the moon, the witch, and the little potion, the little bottles here, the bat, and You're So Sweet It's Scary, and Which Way to the Candy. And those are all the stamps that you'll need. Okay, so I've got the moon. We're going to take Daffodil Delight ink pad here, and I'm going to stamp it. Make sure it's inked up real well. And it's going to be here on the top right corner, like so. And now I'm going to take my Tuxedo Black Memento, and we're going to grab the witch. At first I was going to fussy cut this out, and then I stamped it on here and I thought it looked good with what I was doing, so I'm not going to fussy cut it today. And we're just going to have her be a silhouette over that moon. There we go. Now that circle die that we got out could also die cut the moon, but like I said, I didn't want to do any die cutting on this part of it. We will be doing die cutting, don't worry. And I'm going to grab the little bat. You got to have a bat in the sky on a Halloween card. I'm going to put that bat right there. And that's all the stamping we're going to do on this piece. So we'll go ahead and put this to the side. And then we want to grab a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock. This is just a little square piece. You can grab a scrap piece, but this is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And I'm going to grab, let me see if I can get, nope, not that one. We want the one that says Which Way to the Candy. And I love how they had the word witch. So we're going to take the Tuxedo Black Memento again. And I'm going to stamp this right in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to die cut it with that circle die. Okay, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and get the stamping done. So we want to get the inside piece that we're going to put on our card. It's a piece of basic white. It is a 2 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And oops, I got a little black on that one, so let's turn that one over. Love having 2 sides to cardstock. And I'm using the little bottle potion stamp. And I'm going to do an old technique that's been around forever. I'm going to take my markers. These are Stampin' Right markers. This is Highland Heather. And I'm just going to color over that stamp because I wanted each of these bottles to be a different color. So this is a fun way to use those Stampin' Right markers. And then I'm going to use my old olive, and I'm using the brush tip. You've got the tip that does for writing, but you want to use that brush tip. This is the one that works painting it on the stamp. So I'm going to make my middle one the old olive. And then last but not least, we're going to do the pumpkin pie and do that on the right stamp. Now here's a trick. It's going to be a little hard to show you on a video, but the purple one that I did first is probably starting to get a little dry. So what I do, I kind of cup my hands around here, and I'm going to huff on it to re-moisten it. So huffing is just blowing hot air, I guess. You're not really blowing, but think of when you're trying to warm your hands up in the wintertime and you huff on them. That's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to huff on this. That re-moistens it. Actually got some condensation on this block. Stamp it on here, but that re-moistens all that marker ink that you just put on. And there we go. So we've got the different colors for our little bottles. And then we're going to grab the one that says You're So Sweet It's Scary. And I'm going to grab the Smoky Slate ink pad. And we're going to stamp that right up here. You could also use the Tuxedo Black Memento. Actually, I think that is what I used earlier. But the gray, I like that. That's going to lighten up the black of the card. So I think I like that better. So that was with Smoky Slate. So I'll put this to the side, and now we'll get some die cutting done. Okay, there are a couple of things that we're die cutting. They're kind of intricate, so I wanted to use our adhesive sheets. So I'm going to grab a piece of basic gray. I'm used to saying basic black. Basic gray, 1 1/2 by 1 1/4, well, actually 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. And then we've got an early espresso piece that's 1 3/4 by 2 1/2. And I've got the same size as our the cardstock is adhesive sheets. So what you do, we're going to turn this over. It looks like this is all one piece. Sometimes, let me look at this one. There are places, Oh, they're all one piece. That's different. Normally, they've got little strips and you just peel part of it and stick it on there. Looks like these are full strips. I must have got it just in the right spot because these are small pieces. So I'm going to get one of the sides to come apart. There we go. And the one that's sticky, which is this one is just going to get laid right on top of my square piece, or rectangle piece actually. It's not quite a perfect square. It's close. Do the same thing with this one. I'm going to peel it off. One in my left hand is the sticky one. And we'll put it directly on the cardstock. So you want to do this before you die cut. So much easier. Okay, and then we've got one more piece I almost forgot. We're going to use the black glitter paper, and I'm going to be doing that spider web. So that one's kind of intricate too. Now this one was big enough. You'll know what I was talking about not having one full sheet. With this one, you can see a line here. So I'm going to be doing these in sections. So we'll turn this one over. So this one is going to come up. When it's one big piece, sometimes it's hard to tell which side is the one you're going to peel off. When you've got sections, it's a lot easier to tell. Put that there. Then we'll take this piece off. I'm going to turn this around and stick this one right over here. And these are ready to die cut. So now I'll get my little die cutting machine out. Okay, today I'm going to be using my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I'm using little dies. And also I've got my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in my classroom for my stamp camp. I'm in between stamp camps right now, and I thought I'd squeeze a video in. So when you're die cutting with the mini, you're going to use the platform number 1, and then you need to use a standard cutting plate. And we're going to grab the cardstock that we're going to use. So we'll do the early espresso. I think we can do 2 things at a time. And here's the basic gray. So the early espresso. So whenever you do the adhesive sheets, you want the adhesive sheets to face down. I almost forgot to say that. So always have it cardstock up. So there's the tree. And here is my, well, we can turn it around. It would have been fine upside down, but that way we can see what it is. This is the picket fence. Okay, then we'll put another standard cutting plate on top. We'll run this through. Nice and easy. And when it gets a hold of that picket fence, and I can hold onto the machine and crank it a little faster. Okay, so now we've got this. Okay, came out pretty easy. And it still has adhesive back here. You're going to see how wonderful that is here in a minute if you haven't seen it before. And we've got our picket fence. Now this one came out of the die. That's fine. And I'll show you a little trick. I'm not going to bother poking all of these out. With the adhesive sheet, it makes it super easy. So if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't seen that, you'll be surprised how easy that is too. So I'll put these both in here, my 2 die cuts. Here's the one for the web. So we've already got the adhesive back here. So we've got the glitter side up. We're going to use the same sandwich. And we'll grab this guy here. This set is a lot of fun. I love all the different dies in it. And I love how there are some dies that don't match up with the stamps. You have a lot of extras that you can do with your stamped images. Love that. So we'll go ahead and run this through. And this one I think I'm going to run through a couple times just to make sure, because it is a little more intricate. Okay. And we'll put this one over here. It looks like it went through pretty good. Now, one thing, if it doesn't go completely through the paper backing of the adhesive, it's no big deal because you're not using that anyway. It definitely went through my paper. I'm sure of that because it looks like it even cut through the paper, the adhesive sheet, I mean. Okay, let's see. What else do we have to die cut? Okay, we need another little piece of the black glimmer paper. You can use a scrap, but this one is, look at my sheet here, 1 1/4 by 1 1/2 inch piece. And we can use the little hat, and I like this one actually embosses, and I meant to bring the one that I did in cardstock, and you can see the little embossed hat. It's going to be a little hard to see with the glimmer paper, but I wanted it to have some glimmer to it. It definitely still looks like a hat, so you don't need to worry about that. Looks like I need it. Probably could have done it a little bit bigger, but we'll do it at an angle and it'll fit just fine. And we need to grab this little guy and grab our circle die, because that which way to the candy fits perfectly in that circle. So it doesn't, you can use it for more than just the moon. We'll run these through and we will be all done with the die cutting. Okay. Like I said, this is embossed. It's hard to see with the glimmer. You can see it a little bit, but I still think that looks like a cute hat. If you really wanted to, you could put a little strip of cardstock on there. I didn't do it this time, but you could definitely do that. That would look neat. Okay, looks like, oh, there's my die. I was like, where'd my die go? Stuck to my cutting plate. So we're all done with the die cutting, and now we'll finish this card. Now, one thing with this, I thought it looked too bright with that white. So what I decided to do, I kind of wanted it to look a little grayer. So I'm going to take my smoky slate, and I'm taking a blending brush. So pick up some ink. Now, usually, and I'm still going to do this at the beginning, you start off your paper so you don't get the shape. Like sometimes you'll pounce on this. If you start in here, it'll be a dark blob and it'll be the shape of your brush. So if you start off, then it's nice and even and smooth. Now, since I'm doing this like a Halloween, I'm not going to mind if I get a couple of those little splotches. I might even add a little bit. So I'm making sure the edges are definitely dark. I'm even going over the stamped images a little bit, not going over the moon completely. Like there, I got a little mark on there, but I kind of liked that effect. So if you're wanting a smooth effect, which is what we usually do with these, always make sure you start off the cardstock and go all the way across. That's why you want to have some paper underneath here. But I'm kind of okay with doing little blotches too, to get that eerie look, so it looks more like a Halloween scenery. There we go. So you can get different looks. You can get a nice smooth look, or you can get little pounces on it. Okay, so now he doesn't look so bright, and it looks more hunty looking. So now we'll go ahead and grab a piece of old olive. Now that we've got that inked up. This one is a 3 1/4 by 3 inch piece. Grab my seal, and we'll attach this to the center and get this going again. Attach it to the center of my old olive piece. Oop, I missed that corner. There we go. This will go right here. And then we're going to put the tree on. So let me find my tree. And it looks like I need to get my take your pick tool out to get it started. Sometimes, especially when they're intricate like this, they don't want to come out right off. But see how easy that was? I just had to poke it through. And there are pieces that need to come out. I'm not going to worry about it. Actually, they're coming out, so I'll just take them out. But if they don't, it's no big deal. Like I said, if you don't go through the adhesive paper, you're not needing that anyway, and it'll pull it out as you go. So I'm going to start down here where the trunk's at, 'cause I think I can get a hold of the paper, the adhesive backing a lot better. Pull this off, and now this is completely covered with adhesive. Makes it so you're all kind of making your own sticker. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to have the tree. Actually, I don't want it on the olive. Let's put it at the bottom of the white and put it on here, and making it going over the white. You can have it even go over the olive if you want to, the old olive. I did that on my first one. It didn't show up very well, so I decided I'm going to move it over a little bit. Looks like I should have stamped my bat. Here, let's go ahead and move that. See if I can get this off of here. Yep, I can. Good. Yay, that's nice to know. That bat should have probably been stamped after I put the tree on, but we can make it do. Here we go. That's better. You can see him a little better now. There we go. And now we're going to put the fence on here. There's always a way to fix things if you make a little mistake, usually anyway. Now look at this. See how all those little pieces are in there? Most of them, if not all of them, are going to come right out with that adhesive backing. Isn't that cool? Love that. Looks like one little piece didn't want to come out. There we go. Just poke him out. So I'm going to put this here. And I kind of want it over the side. I wanted more of the tree to show. I didn't want it to be right in the center. There we go. And now we'll go ahead and let's put this on the card base. So let's bring the card base back in. Now with this, you do not want to have adhesive hanging over the sides here. And since you don't know exactly where you're putting it on here, what I do, I just go in a little bit and put 3 strips. Get this going again. 3 strips along the middle. Definitely one right in the middle. And 2 next to each other. And I'm not making sure I don't have any here on the sides. I'm going to lay this down, and you kind of want to lay this flat, so make sure that these ends fold. That way you know you're getting this centered left and right. So that looks pretty good. Make sure I've got it straight here. Need to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. That looks pretty good. And now we've got that on there. And then we're going to take this guy, And then we need our witch's hat. Now this I'm going to put on with dimensionals. And since I'm using a lot of black, I'm going to use my black dimensionals. And this is going to be hanging off the bottom just a little bit. So I'm going to bring this up, not all the way to the bottom. If it hangs over a little bit, it's not that big a deal, just as long as it stays on this piece. We don't want it sticking on the back ones here. But 2 should be plenty. Get that paper backing off. And I will put this right here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Then we're going to take our little witch's hat. Now with this one, it's going to be hanging on here just a little bit, but this needs to have a dimensional here at the top. So I'm grabbing, the neat thing about the black ones, you get mini ones in the same pack. So you get 2 sheets of the mini and 2 sheets of the regular when you get the black dimensionals. And I don't want one here in the direct bottom because that's going to be on here. We don't need that raised up. So I'm going to put this up as far as I can. A little too narrow up here, so that's a good place. So we just need one. To make sure it stays on really good, I'm going to grab a glue dot and just put one right here on the bottom. Okay. That way it'll stick to this just a little bit. So I've got 2 things holding it down. So I've got this right on the orange, kind of angle it a little bit so it's not in the way. And it's okay if it hangs over the olive a little bit, the old olive. Stick that down. Oh, I forgot to... The nice thing about steel, you can take it off. Well, that's a glue dot. I'm lucky it came off. Sometimes glue dots don't let you do that. I forgot to take the paper backing off this, didn't I? All right, getting ahead of myself. Now we'll stick this on and angle that because I want my moon and my witch up here to show completely. When I first put that circle on, I thought, oh, it needs something. And then I saw that witch hat die. I'm like, oh, that'll work. So now we've got the front. Oh, no, we don't have the front done. I decided that this fence needed a little something. It looked a little plain. So I grabbed these. These are called the matte black dots. And I'm going to take 2 of these small ones, like so. And I'm just going to put them right here. I just felt like the fence needed a little something. It doesn't have to have anything. It actually looks fine without it too. But I just needed a little something more on this card. So I put those there, and I didn't put, you can put some on the bottom if you want to. I thought that was too much, putting that much. So I just put 2 on the top. So it looks like there's a little ornamental thing on the fence. Okay, we've got one more thing to do with this card. We've got our neat web. I love this web. So let's see if we can start, well, actually, before we start peeling, I want to cut this in half. So I'm going to grab my paper snips, and I'm going to go from one end to the other. Like so. Do this before you take the paper backing off. It's a lot easier. And that way too your scissors won't get so sticky. Now this one, not all of the pieces are going to come off, but a lot of them do. So we'll go ahead. Come off with the paper backing. So let's get the paper backing going. It's better to get the paper back. Here, you know what? We're going to get these little pieces out because I can tell that's why I'm having trouble getting this started. Whenever it's a little more intricate, it's a little harder to get that paper backing. There we go. Once it gets started, it's easy. Now, some of these, like I said, are going to come up with me. Some of them aren't. But I always take the adhesive off first because that'll take out most of them, and then I won't have as many to take out. I think it's just because there's so many of them. That's why they don't come out. They're coming out. I'm not even using my take your pick tool and getting them all out of here. Now, they are sticky, though, since I just took the backing off. So let me get all of these off. What I'll do, I'll go ahead and take all of these off. I know you don't want to sit here watch me do this. And I'll be right back, and we'll get this on the card. Okay, I'm back. Like I said, if it didn't have all the sticky stuff, it wouldn't take so long because they really do come out easy. I was get them stuck on my finger, and I didn't want you to have to sit here watching me battle on that. But here's our halves of our spider web. So I'm going to line the straight edge up with the edge of the designer paper here. I just thought we needed a little bit of a glitter thing. So, oh yeah, that's showing up a lot better on this one because it's a little lighter paper. And I think the ghosts and the skulls go real well with the house. And then we'll do this one. On this one, I'm going to do down the opposite bottom corner. Get that straight edge. Now, this doesn't have much of a straight edge because I cut it. But there we go. So you don't have to put that web on there. I just thought it needed a little something. So now we're done with the front. Now remember that piece that we did for the back? This is so you can write your name to whoever you give the card to. So we're going to turn this over, and it's going to go in this middle section right here. So this is the same size as what this paper was here. It's the 2 by 5 1/4 inches. Put our adhesive all the way across the narrow sections and 2 little things on the long. And this one will fit right here. Now, if you want to go real crazy and use more designer series paper, because this does look kind of bland here on the back, you could definitely do that. You just, on the ends, it's the 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and the middle one is the 2 by, you've already got the middle one down. So you could actually put 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch pieces here if you want to decorate that too. But I didn't do it this time. So that is the fun fold card that has no name. So like I said, if you think of a name, comment below, and that's the one I'll use from now on. But I thought this was a neat card, and there's so many different ways to do this. Like there was one time I did one that was narrower. You could put an oval on it, and it looks like an egg. Just a lot of different things you can do with this. So I hope you enjoyed this week's 12 Weeks of Fall and Halloween, and I'll be back again next Friday between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time with another video. And it'll probably be a fall. A lot of times I'll do Halloween one week and fall the next week. So next week will probably be fall one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a 3D or fun fold. It'll be a surprise. It's a surprise to me too. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoyed the video and want to stamp with me again, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below, and then click on that bell icon that'll pop up and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I do a video. Now, if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And I'd love to get some catalogs to you. So here's the annual catalog that's going on right now. The mini catalog, this is the July to December, aka the holiday catalog. That's what it used to be called. And we've got Celebration going on until the end of September 30th. And if you're new to Celebration, you can find out about that. I've got a link below to all the information you need to find out all the free stuff that you can get during Celebration. So just click on that Celebration link in the video description. You can find out all about that. And if you want a catalog mailed to you, like I said, if you live in the United States and do not have a demo of your own, just click that Contact Me link below and give me your mailing address, and I'll mail your first catalogs out to you for free. Okay, I thought I'd bring both the cards out so you can see the difference. You can see the webs a little bit better on this one than you can this one. And paper that would look good with this, now that in hindsight, we've got our silver foil that's in the holiday catalog. It's a neat pack. It's a little different from our old silver foil. It's actually 2 different types of silver foil in the pack, but those would show up probably a little bit better. But I still like the way those turned out. So I hope you enjoyed these, and just come back next week for my next video. And if you could support my channel by giving me a thumbs up or commenting below, I really do appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Well, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a great day. Bye.